Are you tired of feeling like your stomach has its own agenda? Like the bloating, gas, or constant trips to the bathroom are running your life? Welcome to the Beyond Bloated podcast, the podcast where we tackle those frustrating gut issues head on, without strict diets or giving up your favorite foods. I'm Carly, a certified gut health coach who's been there, struggling with bloating that made me look 6 months pregnant, gut pain that kept me from enjoying meals, and fatigue so draining it felt impossible to get through the day. Now, I help women like you find freedom from those symptoms and take back control of their lives. Each week, we'll debunk gut health myths, dive into simple, actionable tips, and hear stories from women who've been exactly where you are. It's time to feel confident, energized, and bloat-free. Let's get started. Did you guys notice anything different about today's episode? I updated my intro. I know when I first started my podcast, I put out my first episode and my best friend told me she loves it. Everything sounds great, except she thought that my background music was super lame. And honestly, it was lame, but that's what I had. So I updated it. I made a new intro. I also made a new outro, so make sure you stick around and hear the end. But I changed the song. Honestly, it's still kind of lame. I'm not going to lie. I don't know. I find a lot of podcast music is lame. I don't know how to make music myself, so you kind of get what you get. But hey, it's a new year, so we got a fresh new background music song thing, new intro, new outro. I even updated my trailer episode. If you're this far in, you probably get the gist of what the podcast is about. But if you want to go back and listen to my new trailer, you're welcome to do that as well. If this isn't your first episode and you literally are this far in, I'm sure you have heard me talk about leaky gut quite a bit. I realized I haven't done an entire episode dedicated to leaky gut. I've mentioned it in a lot of other episodes for sure, but today we are dedicating this entire episode to leaky gut. This is extremely relevant to all of you because if you have digestive issues, food sensitivities, autoimmune condition, fatigue, joint pain, you have leaky gut. I'm 99% confident. So this is going to be extremely relevant and important for you because we're going to talk about what leaky gut is, what causes it, symptoms. If you don't believe me that you have leaky gut, I'll let you know the symptoms and you can kind of figure it out on your own. And then we're going to talk about what to do to repair leaky gut so your gut isn't just continuously leaking for the rest of eternity. Dealing with leaky gut was a big part of my own gut health journey. Looking back, it's clear that leaky gut was in the works for quite some time before my gut issues started. I had the perfect storm of events happen for like the last 10 years of my life before my gut issues started. And so it hit a breaking point. My gut was full-blown leaking. I got food sensitivities, bloating, stomach pain. I was tired all the time, etc., etc. And as I started learning about gut health, holistic health, I started going the more natural route. I learned about leaky gut. So I started reading about it, listening to podcasts, books, all the things. And I was like, yeah, this is a key thing I need to get under control if I want to get rid of my gut issues. So one of my main focuses at the beginning of my gut health journey was focusing on healing my gut, repairing that gut lining, strengthening it so that my gut would stop leaking and I could reverse all of the damage that has been done, because you can do that. I did do that, and I no longer have all these food sensitivities and gut pain, stomach pain, chronic diarrhea issues. I don't have any diarrhea issues. I'm not tired all the time. I have energy throughout the whole day. You can heal leaky gut. It's very possible. And I'm going to walk you through how I did it for myself, how I help my clients do it, so that you can do it as well. Let's start by discussing what is leaky gut. So leaky gut is also known as intestinal permeability, but leaky gut is a lot easier to say, so I'm probably going to stick with that. And it happens when the lining of your gut, which is basically your body's protective barrier, becomes damaged and lets things through that really should not be getting through. Normally, the cells in your gut lining are tightly packed together, and they only allow properly digested nutrients to pass into your bloodstream. So when the gut lining gets damaged, weakened, it's inflamed, the gaps between those cells widen. So you essentially have these like holes in your gut, and that creates the leaky effect. This allows the larger, unwanted particles like undigested food, toxins, and bacteria to escape into your bloodstream where it should not be. Once those things get into your bloodstream, your immune system sees them as threats, and that triggers inflammation, food sensitivities, and other health issues. Because your immune system's like, what the hell is this stuff doing here? I've never seen this before, and it freaks the F out. Basically, your gut is like a giant filter. So when it's healthy, it keeps the bad stuff out and lets the good stuff, like nutrients, through. But when it's leaking, it's a torn window screen, essentially, and it lets all these flies into your house. Birds are coming in. It's not a good time when your gut is leaking. So that is what leaky gut is. Now let's talk about what happens when your gut is leaking. So as I mentioned, that's your protective barrier. So if it's busted wide open and you're getting birds flying into your house, obviously that's not good. So through these gaps in your gut, the undigested food particles, toxins, harmful bacteria are all escaping into your bloodstream. These are substances that your immune system should not encounter. So like I mentioned, it's freaking out. This is not a normal thing for your body to have to deal with. Your immune system identifies these particles as invaders and starts attacking them. So this is what triggers chronic inflammation because your body is trying to defend itself against what it sees as a threat. So for example, if you're eating gluten and dairy, but you have a leaky gut, the undigested gluten or dairy proteins are leaking through your gut into the bloodstream. The immune system freaks out because they're not supposed to be in the bloodstream and starts to attack those particles because it's dangerous. It's like, this isn't supposed to be here. This is a threat. And that is what causes food sensitivities. Your immune system freaking out and attacking all this shit that isn't supposed to be in your bloodstream causes inflammation. Now, this inflammation can become systemic, where it affects not just the gut, but the entire body. Chronic inflammation is linked to so many different health issues like joint pain, fatigue, skin conditions like eczema and acne, autoimmune diseases. I did an episode a little while back on how autoimmune diseases begin in the gut. I'll link that episode for you if you want to check that one out. It also can cause brain fog and mood disorders. So inflammation is horrific. Leaky gut causes chronic inflammation in the whole body. The longer you leave your gut in this damaged, leaky state, the worse your symptoms are going to be. So you can develop hormone imbalances because inflammation disrupts hormone regulation, which can cause issues like PMS or thyroid dysfunction. Also can weaken your immunity because the majority of your immune system, like 80% of it, resides in your gut. So if your gut is leaking and your immune system is in your gut, your immune system is now impaired. So you're more susceptible to illness. You're getting sick more frequently for longer. And leaky gut can also cause your microbiome to become imbalanced, which is also known as dysbiosis. So this is when the beneficial bacteria that live in your gut get disrupted, and that worsens your gut health and then allows for the harmful bacteria to thrive. So that's also going to contribute to bloating and gas and all the stomach pain, all the issues you're experiencing. Dysbiosis and leaky gut kind of go hand in hand. An imbalance in your microbiome can also cause leaky gut, which I will talk more about in a moment. I'm about to discuss the common causes of leaky gut, and dysbiosis is one of those. Usually there isn't just one factor that has caused leaky gut. It is a combination of several things. So I'm going to go over what the common causes of leaky gut are. Number one is diet-related things. So if you are eating a lot of ultra-processed food, refined sugars, processed gluten, alcohol, conventional dairy, inflammatory things that are unfortunately all over our grocery store. Hey everyone, Carly here. If you are tired of feeling bloated and uncomfortable, which I know you are, I have something that can really help. My free ultimate guide to bloat busting. I've been there myself, and I know how frustrating it is to try super restrictive diets and expensive supplements without getting results. If those methods were going to work, they would have worked by now. That's why I created this guide to offer you a different approach. In the Ultimate Guide to Bloat Busting, you'll learn techniques to listen to your body and eat with intention, avoiding overeating and choosing foods that truly benefit you, tips for proper hydration to support digestion and reduce bloating, a guide to delicious foods that promote a healthy gut and how to easily incorporate them into your meals, and effective methods to manage stress, which plays a huge role in gut health. These simple, practical strategies can make a big difference in your daily life, helping you feel lighter, more energized, and comfortable in your own skin. Ready to ditch the bloat without strict diets or costly supplements? Download your free copy today at beyondbloated.com/ultimate-guide and start your journey to a bloat-free life. Now, let's get back to it. That is going to cause leaky gut. The standard American diet, filled with takeout and ultra-processed packaged foods, inflammatory ingredients, is one of the main contributors to leaky gut. If you eat a standard American diet for a long period of time, it's almost a guarantee that you have leaky gut. Number 2, also something I talk about a lot on the podcast, chronic stress. Chronic stress weakens your gut lining, makes it more permeable, and opens the door to digestive and systemic issues. Stress destroys our gut health. If you're eating well, but you are chronically stressed, you are still damaging your gut. Number 3 is the overuse of medications like antibiotics or even ibuprofen. If you have a headache and you pop an ibuprofen thinking it's harmless, it's not a big deal, it's not actually harmless. These medications can damage your gut lining and make leaky gut worse, especially if you're using these frequently. Like if you're popping one of these every few days, even weekly, for a headache or whatever other pain you're dealing with, it adds up. Keep in mind that every single medication out there has a side effect, even the over-the-counter shit. So yes, antibiotics and ibuprofen, things of that nature, are damaging your gut lining and contributing to leaky gut. Number 4 is environmental toxins. These play a significant role in damaging the gut lining by creating inflammation and disrupting the gut's natural balance, causing dysbiosis. This is an unfortunate one because this is something that isn't as easy to control because you can't control the environment, but you can make better decisions for yourself. So some of these environmental toxins that you should look out for include pesticides and herbicides. Just last week, I had an entire episode about pesticides and herbicides because I talked about organic and whether or not it's a scam, if it's worth it. So if you'd like to learn more about this topic, head to last week's episode and give that a listen. But what I'll say about it right now is that chemicals like glyphosate are used in agriculture. Our produce is unfortunately covered with this chemical. It damages the gut lining. It kills off beneficial bacteria and causes dysbiosis as well, which also contributes to leaky gut. So yeah, not great to be consuming a lot of that. Heavy metals are another one to look out for. Toxins like mercury and lead are unfortunately found in contaminated water, seafood, and old pipes. So if you're not filtering your water, your drinking water, you should probably start doing that. Food additives and preservatives are another one that unfortunately is in a lot of our packaged food, and this irritates the gut, disrupts the microbiome, leads to dysbiosis and gut permeability. I also did an episode on this way back when. So that one was, are food additives and preservatives actually safe? ? I'll link that one as well so you can get more deets on that. You've also got to be careful about your household chemicals. So things like cleaning products, plastic food storage containers, personal care items. These are all things that commonly contain harmful chemicals, and those can introduce toxins into your body that then burden the liver and contribute to systemic inflammation, including in the gut. At this point, I have pretty much swapped out all of my plastic containers for glass. I've swapped out all of my cleaning products for natural, chemical-free versions. And my personal care products is still a work in progress. I've swapped out like my shampoo and my soaps and my lotions and all that. Probably still have some cosmetic things that aren't the best, but you don't have to be perfect. And, as you run out of something, you can get rid of it and replace it with the better version. But don't go chuck all your stuff and buy new stuff right now, because that's going to be very expensive. I also like to use ewg.org to search for clean versions of these things. So you can search for like deodorant or all-purpose cleaner, and it will tell you the clean rating on a specific brand and also give you suggestions for like, these ones are super good for the environment, for your health. And it even highlights the ingredients that you want to watch out for, so you know in the future what you're looking for. All of these different environmental toxins not only damage the gut lining and cause leaky gut, but they also disrupt the microbiome, which leads to further weakening the gut barrier and also causing dysbiosis at the same time. So you're going to have some not so fun symptoms when that happens. Fifth common cause that contributes to leaky gut is dysbiosis. So that's what I mentioned earlier, how when you have an imbalance in your microbiome, that contributes to leaky gut, but leaky gut also contributes to dysbiosis. So it's a double-edged sword here. So how it happens is that the healthy bacteria produce compounds like short-chain fatty acids that nourish and strengthen the gut lining. So when these beneficial bacteria decrease or are being killed off, the gut lining becomes more vulnerable to damage. Then the pathogenic bacteria or yeast can start taking over because the good bacteria normally keeps these bad ones in check. So when there's less good beneficial bacteria, the bad start to grow out of control, and they release toxins and inflammatory compounds that weaken the gut barrier. We also want a diverse microbiome. The healthiest guts are very diverse. They have a lot of different beneficial bacteria living down there. There isn't just one type of good bacteria. There are plenty. So when we have low microbial diversity, we have increased gut permeability and inflammation. There is a direct link there as well. And finally, dysbiosis triggers an immune response that causes ongoing inflammation. And that inflammation further breaks down the gut lining, making leaky gut worse, making inflammation worse, chronic inflammation worse, making all of your other symptoms worse. Everything gets worse when you have an imbalance in your gut microbiome. A lot of the same things that cause leaky gut also cause dysbiosis. Overusage of antibiotics, a poor diet. So if you are living off of the standard American diet, that's going to cause dysbiosis, chronic stress, and environmental toxins. All the things I listed that I said this causes leaky gut, it also causes dysbiosis. That's also why I have mentioned in the past that dysbiosis and leaky gut are two of the main contributors to gut issues because they go hand in hand. It is very, very rare. I don't even know if it's possible to have one without the other. One way to know if you have leaky gut and or dysbiosis is by your health history. So have you taken a lot of antibiotics in the past? Do you pop a lot of ibuprofen? Have you lived off of the standard American diet for a long time? Are you chronically stressed? Are all of your household cleaning products super toxic? Things like that are going to tell you a pretty clear picture. But on top of that, there are also symptoms of leaky gut. So there are the obvious digestive symptoms like bloating, gas, diarrhea, constipation, food sensitivities, things that are very clearly linked to the gut. However, not everybody who has leaky gut experiences digestive symptoms. I know people think, I don't have leaky gut because I don't have bloating. First of all, if you're listening to this podcast, you probably do have bloating. But if you're talking to someone else and they're like, yeah, I don't have food sensitivities, so I can't have leaky gut, but they have other symptoms like fatigue, brain fog, anxiety, depression, skin issues like acne, eczema, or even psoriasis. They have joint pain. Things like that are also connected to leaky gut. You don't have to have digestive symptoms to have leaky gut. Leaky gut is also connected to autoimmune conditions and chronic illnesses like diabetes, arthritis, and even heart disease. These things all start in the gut. Research shows that leaky gut leads to widespread inflammation, which I have mentioned 40 different times already, which is a major driver of all of these chronic diseases. There really is no foolproof test for leaky gut. You can do a GI map and get it done with zonulin. And zonulin is a marker for leaky gut, but it isn't like a foolproof, guaranteed, this will tell you if you have leaky gut or not thing. The best way to know if you have leaky gut is, like I said, look at your health history, look at your symptoms, and if you're ticking a lot of those boxes, it really wouldn't hurt you to try to repair your gut lining anyway. Even if you don't have leaky gut, the things that I'm going to talk about on how to start repairing your gut lining, strengthening your gut lining, anyone can do these things. They're beneficial for everybody, and they can also be preventative. So if you think you don't have leaky gut, but you don't want to get it, you can also start doing these things to make sure that you don't. So the first thing that I would recommend on how to start repairing the gut lining is the first thing that I did myself. I eliminated irritants from my diet. So I knew that when I ate gluten and dairy, I was in pain, I was shitting my pants, I was bloated, I was not having a good time. Those were very obvious triggers. Like I've mentioned in the past, the gluten and dairy in North America is trash. It isn't a whole food, it's heavily processed, it does not have nutrients, and it's inflammatory. I don't recommend anybody eats like white bread off the grocery shelf. It's trash for everybody. Even if you don't have a gluten sensitivity, you could eat better versions of gluten. You don't need Wonder Bread. Other food / not actual food items that are going to damage your gut are the ultra-processed foods on the grocery shelves, the things that are in packages with refined sugars, seed oils, processed gluten, dairy, like I said. Alcohol is a big one. That is damaging the shit out of your gut lining. So if you're drinking every weekend, your gut's taking a beating. Trust me, I was there. And my gut hated me for it. And then pay attention to any individual triggers. If you notice when you eat something, you feel terrible, please stop eating it. Your body is trying to tell you something. You need to give it a break. It's causing inflammation. It's contributing to leaky gut, and you're only going to feel worse as you continue to eat it. As I like to say, just because you're eliminating certain things doesn't mean you can't eat that food ever again. So I don't eat gluten or dairy, but I still eat pizza and cake and all the things. I just eat the better versions of them. So don't think that you're giving up everything you love because you have to quit eating gluten. You can still eat delicious food. I am a professional at swapping out things. So if you need help, let me know, reach out to me, and I can help you do that. Step 2 is going to be nourishing and repairing that gut lining. So we want to focus on incorporating a lot of gut healing foods into the diet. Things like bone broth, collagen, fermented foods like sauerkraut, kimchi, pickles that are actually good pickles, healthy fats, lots of gut nourishing, healthy foods. That's going to help heal that gut lining and give you lots of nutrients as well. Also including a lot of prebiotic and probiotic foods to help restore your microbiome, because like I said, dysbiosis and leaky gut go hand in hand. So you probably have dysbiosis as well. So you want to feed your good gut bacteria, put more good gut bacteria in your gut. That's going to help balance your microbiome, which will strengthen your gut and help repair the leakiness. Next, you're going to want to make some lifestyle adjustments. And this was huge for myself. This is a huge component of my one-on-one coaching program because this is where the magic happens. You can eat well, but if your lifestyle habits are shit, you're not going to feel any better because they're just as important as your diet. You need to manage your stress with something that works for you. Like, if you like meditation, do that. If you don't, then don't. You can go for a walk in nature. You could do yoga. You could do some gentle stretching. Anything that gives you peace of mind when you're in like a stressful time period. Deep breathing. Do this regularly throughout the day. Don't wait until you're hella stressed to do it. Just make it a regular practice. Prioritizing sleep is possibly the most important one here. If you are sleeping less than 7 hours a night, you're not doing your body any favors. If you're working on healing your gut, like you want to repair your gut lining, get your microbiome in balance, get rid of your gut issues, you need to sleep 8 hours or more. Yeah, that might seem like a lot if you're only sleeping 5 right now. So start working on it slowly. 5.5, 6, 6.5. You need to be aiming for 8, minimum 7, bare minimum 7. I sleep 8.5, 9 hours every night. I feel phenomenal. Our body literally repairs itself while we are sleeping. If you're not sleeping enough, or the quality of your sleep isn't good, your body isn't repairing itself, which means your gut also isn't repairing itself. You need really good quality sleep. You need a lot of it. Just sleep your face off. Sleep is great. And finally, you need to get some gentle movement in to help support digestion. So going for a daily walk, doing yoga, like I said, that's kind of a double whammy because you're managing stress and you're getting gentle movement in. Do some stretching. Pilates is great. Gentle movement. You don't want to be doing HIIT exercises every single day. That's going to cause your body stress, especially when you're trying to heal your gut. Your gut is damaged. You are in a fragile state. Don't do anything that's going to cause extra stress to your body. Just 30 minutes a day of gentle movement is going to be phenomenal. And the last step that I would focus on for healing leaky gut is targeted supplementation. So things like L-glutamine really helped me during my leaky gut journey. I drank that every day. You buy it in a powder, 5 grams per scoop. Dump it in a glass of water in the morning, drink that up. Things like omega-3s, those are going to help decrease inflammation because like I said, leaky gut dysbiosis causes a lot of inflammation in the body. You need to get that down. Collagen was one I mentioned. That's in bone broth. So if you're drinking a lot of bone broth, that's also going to help you get collagen. You really don't need to go batshit crazy with the supplementation. Like if you're doing all those things I just mentioned, you're eating well, you're using stress management techniques, daily gentle movement, you're sleeping 8 hours or more a night, you've added lots of nutrient-dense healing foods into your diet, that's going to do the majority of the work. I would recommend L-glutamine is a great one. The omega-3s can be great for reducing inflammation. Other than that, yeah, maybe you could add like a high-dose probiotic, but I wouldn't go crazy. There is such a thing as doing too much. And you don't need to spend a fortune on supplements when diet and lifestyle will get you most of the way there. How fast you see results with these methods depends on a few things. Depends on what you're currently doing right now. So for example, when I first started my gut health journey, I was a disaster. I ate horribly. I didn't exercise. I didn't have a regular sleep schedule. None of the things that I just said to do, I was doing. So as soon as I changed my diet and I took out like inflammatory foods, I felt better. I wasn't cured by any means, but I felt significantly better. So I kept going and I kept doing the things and I kept feeling better. So if you are like me back then, if you start doing these things, you will see results rather quickly. The key here really is consistency. If you make tiny little sustainable changes over time and you keep doing them, like you make it a lifestyle change, not a temporary fix, you'll see results. To make it even easier for you, I do have a free resource called the Bloat Free Day Checklist. So this is a list of habits that I and my clients do morning, afternoon, night, and all the time to help keep our gut healthy, improve gut health, strengthen the gut lining, get our microbiomes in balance, because like I said, it's not just about food. It's about all the things that you are doing in a day. So if you head to my website, beyondbloated.com/checklist, you can download that for free and just pick one thing off there that you're not doing right now and start doing it and make it a lifestyle change. Find a way for it to fit into your life seamlessly so you can continue to do it, check it off, and move on to the next thing. These are the things that I work on with my clients in my one-on-one program, and these are the things that get them incredible results. So if you need more support and you want to work with someone who has been there, who has done it themselves, and has helped other women get there as well, apply to my one-on-one coaching program. The link is in the show notes. There's no commitment required to apply. You just fill it out. We'll meet, have a free 30-minute discovery call, chat about what you're looking to get out of the program, what challenges you're currently facing, decide if we're a good fit. And if we are, we'll get your leaky gut all healed up and ready to go. If you have any questions, reach out to me. You can hit me up on Instagram at beyond.bloated or send me an email, carlyclose@beyondbloated.com, and I'll talk to you next week. Did you learn something new and useful today? If the answer is a big, resounding hell yeah, do me a favor. Subscribe to this podcast. Even better, toss a rating in there too. It helps more bloated babes discover this show and lets me keep bringing you this free, gut-loving content every single week. And hey, don't be greedy. Share this episode with your bestie who's always unbuttoning her pants after dinner. She will love you even more for it. Thanks for hanging out with me and showing your gut some love. Keep on putting what you learn into practice and you will be bloat-free in no time. Catch you in the next one. Bye!